Alright, we have these three questions from same year, 1978. Question 4, 5, 11. The first one, we are told to look for EC. We don't know EC. Now, what do you think you can do from here? The first thing you have to know is that DE and BF, they are parallel. If D and BF are parallel, DB and EF are parallel, it means it's a parallelogram. The fourth point I gave under triangles during the lecture, during this lecture. So it means this is a parallelogram, and if this is a parallelogram, if from here to here is 2, then BF will also be 2. That is the first point you have to note. So the first is for you to realize that it is 2. Then the EC we are looking for, let's call it X. Our aim is to get the value of X. Now applying that rule, DE over BC. If we divide this by this, we have to get AE over AC. We'll explain that. So DE is 2, DE over BC must be equals to AE over AC. So what's DE? 2. BC, 2 plus 3, 5. AE, 4. Then we are looking for EC. So what's AC? 4 plus X. AC is 4 plus X. So let's try multiply. So we have 8 plus 2X equals to 20. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times X, 2X. 2 times 4, 20. From here, 2X equals to 20 minus 8, that's 12. Then we start by 2. So therefore, X equals to 6 centimeters. As simple as that. For the next question, find X plus Y plus Z. These lines are parallel. Now, if you have a question like this, you have to do extra construction. This X is attached to a parallel line. This Y is not attached to a second parallel line. But this Z is not attached to any line. If you have a question like this, that particular angle that is not attached to any line, you construct. Draw a line that will pass through that point that is also parallel to the other previous lines. So the word of this is Z. Yes, this is Z. Now, if you notice, for this X, that's what? Bottom right. For this one, this is bottom left, this is top right. So it means the whole of this must be X. If this is X, this is also X because they are what? Alternate. Same goes for Y. For this one here, top left, bottom right. For this one. So this and is also alternate Y. And it's obvious from here that these are what? Angle at a point. So I do X plus Y plus Z. You must get what? Obviously 360 degrees. As simple as that. For the next question in the figure, the area of triangle AF equals to 6 centimeters squared. Find BD. We are looking for BD. BD, let's call it X. Now, this is a triangle. For a triangle, if you want to get an unknown side, and it is a non-right angle triangle, you must know the other two sides and the angle that faces to its cosine rule. But if you don't know any angle, like in this form, no angle is given. On one side, but two sides are given. There is nothing you can do to get X unless if you have the area of this shape. If you know the area of this shape, then perhaps we can get the value of X. But something is obvious. Look at this. AEF, this triangle, and this triangle BDC, they will have the same area. Why? They are between two parallel lines and they have the same base. So it means they will have the same area. So we can say the area of triangle BDC is also 6 centimeters squared. Now, how can I get area with triangle with 3 sides? If you have a triangle and a perpendicular side is known. For example, look at this. If I draw a line perpendicular to this base, if this line is perpendicular to this base, let's call it H. The area of this triangle is what? Half base times height. So since the area is given as 6, you can say 6 equals to half. The base is 3 times height. From here, 3 here 1, 3 here 2, 2 times 2, 4. It means H is 4 centimeters. Why do you need to get the height? Because for this triangle, if you want to try to get the area using 3, 5x, we have to go and use what we call the Eron's formula. Area equals to s square root of s bracket s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. And that might be complex. Now, if we come to this second diagram, since these two lines are parallel, I need a perpendicular line. If I draw another perpendicular line here, then they will have the same height. So for this triangle now, we have something like this. This one is 5. So this is 5. This is 3. This is x you are looking for. And if this is h, this is also h. And h is 4. So it means this length is 4. So this is 4. Right angle. Now this x is the hypotenuse to this big triangle. So we know this side, but we don't know the whole of this side. So we can get the whole of this side. Now if you notice for this small triangle, if you apply Pythagoras triple, for this small triangle here, we can look for this side. Let me call this side A. If you apply Pythagoras theorem, 5 is the hypotenuse. You get your h with 3. We do 5 squared equals to 4 squared plus 8 squared. By the time you finish, you get h with 3. So it means what we get is going to be 3. So the whole of this is 6. So if we apply Pythagoras theorem again, this is the hypotenuse for the big triangle. So we have s squared equals to what? The whole of this 4 squared plus the whole of this 6 squared. So s squared equals to 16 plus 36. S squared equals to 52. Then s equals to the square root of 52. And that will be the answer. (1979) question 14. We have to look for the value of x. Now, calm down. PQ and RS are parallel. That's the indication. That's what these arrows are indicating. Then, if you notice very well, go this way, come down, go this way. That's the Z shape. So definitely this arm is also what? 60 degrees. Because they are alternate. Now, this SP is a side of this triangle produced. So this 100 is exterior angle. And recall, exterior angle of a triangle equals to the sum of the opposite interior. So it means 100 degrees equals to x plus 60. So x equals to 100 minus 60. So x equals to, as simple as that. For next shape, find x in terms of ABC. When you look at this triangle, or this diagram, this diagram looks like a triangle, but it is not a triangle. It is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. For a triangle, if we add all the interior angles, you get 180. For a quadrilateral, if you add all the interior angles, you get 360. For a pentagon, if you add all the interior angle, you get 540. The generalized formula is total angle in a particular polygon. They have polygon of 3 sides, 4 side, 5 side. So sum of x, all the angle or the interior angle of a polygon is 180 into n minus 2. So this has 4 sides. 4 minus 2 times 180. So it means if we add this angle A plus B plus C plus D, let's call this one D. The interior angle, you get what? But you call this one a concave quadrilateral. All these ones are convex. We can make this one to be concave. So we get one of the triangle to reflex. So this is also what? This is a pentagon, but it's a concave pentagon. So obviously, if we do A plus B plus C plus D, we are meant to get what? 360 degrees. And also, if we add x plus d, x plus d, we must get what? Angle at a point. If this equals this, it means this equals this. So it means x plus d is also equals to everything here. A plus b plus c plus d. We have d here, and we have d here. If you take it away, it means x equals to a plus b plus c. As simple as that. So when next you see this question in any exam, you don't need to solve. The answer is just add. For next question, if w, find wu, find it, let's call it x. If vz is 6, xu is 8, and uz is 12. uz is 12. First thing you have to realize is, okay, I think it's there in the question that is to a parallel. Similar to the first question we solved, this and this must be equal, but this is a parallelogram. So this also will be x. So it means this over the whole of this, x over x plus 6, must be equals to this to the whole of this. That's 8 over 8 plus 12. So x over x plus 6 equals to 8 over 20. I believe you can finish this by yourself and get the answer. For the next, we are told to look for angle MUR. MUR, this angle. That is what we are looking for. So this is a rectangle. Now, look at this. This is a rectangle triangle. And this line QU is produced to M. So this is an exterior angle. Exterior angle equals to sum of opposite what? Interior. So this angle here equals to this angle plus this. This is already 90. So we only need to get this angle. So the question should be, how can we get this angle? Do not panic at all. These lines are parallel. We have two parallel lines. And this PR cuts them. So this angle and this angle, they must be equal because they are corresponding. Top right, top right. So if this angle is 60, this angle too is what? 60. And this angle is what? 90 plus 60 because exterior angle equals to sum of opposite interior. We apply two theorems here. First, corresponding angles, and lastly, and secondly, exterior angle equals to what? Sum of opposite interior. So MUR equals to 60 plus 90. So MUR is simply what? 140 degrees. The thing is, 150 rather, thank you, 150 degrees. The thing is, most students, when they see questions on all these topics, they feel it's difficult. And actually, questions on geometry, they are simpler compared to other parts of mathematics, like mensuration or word problem. They need to interpret and, solving. They are very easy, but you need to solve lots of questions in order to what? To master it. Now, for this question, we are taught to look for x. The last two questions we saw before this, if you recall, they put x here, a, b, c, and we show that x equals to a plus b plus c. So if you solve that question, you know that directly x equals to 40 plus 80 plus 20. As simple as that. So what is the value of x from there? X equals to 140 degrees. Finish. Jam question for that matter. Now for this one, look at this. This is a straight line. So since this is a straight line, obviously, it means if you add this and this, you must get 180. So it means 5x plus y plus this y must give what? 180 degrees. Why? Adjacent angles. So remember, it means 5x plus 2y equals to 180. Equation 1. Secondly, if you add this with this, we must get 180. It means 3 over 2 into x plus 3y plus 45 must also be equals to 180. This, the 3 is common to everything. 3 is common. There is 3 here. Multiple of 3, multiple of 3. So when we take all the 3 away, so we're having x plus 3y. There will still 1 over 2 here. Plus 15 equals to 60. If you divide it by 3. Then we can multiply it by 2 to get rid of this half. If we multiply it by 2, this half will disappear. This 15 turns to 30. And this 60 turns to 120. We can bring this 30 to the other side. 120 minus 30 will give us 90. So it means x plus 3y directly equals to what? 90. Equation 2. You can do this yourself. Equation 1, equation 2. We are looking for x and y. So you solve simultaneously, you get your answer. For this next question, find PQR. The first is to identify PQR. 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 So this is PQR. To get this angle, because this angle belongs to this triangle, we must know this angle. The question is, how can we get this angle? Note, this line and this line, they are parallel. That's the meaning of this arrow. They are parallel. So this angle here and this angle, they must be equal. Why? They are alternate. They are alternate angles, so they have to be equal. First is to know that this is what we are looking for. To get this, since we have this, we need to get this. To get this, it's equals to this. Now look at this. These two stripes indicate that SR and SP, they are the same thing. That's the meaning of this. So it means this triangle is what? Isosceles triangle. When you have a triangle and two sides are equal, the angle facing those sides must be equal. They are called the base angle. So it means if this angle here is x, the angle here also must be x. Why? Isosceles triangle. Base angle of isosceles triangle. So from triangle PRS or PSR, this triangle, we can look for x. X plus 130 must equals 180. So I'm going to triangle. X plus x is 2x. Plus 130 equals to 180. 180 minus 130, that will give us 50. So it means 2x equals to 50. Then x equals to 50 over 2. X 25 degrees. So it means this angle is 25. We are looking for PQR. Let PQR be y. Our aim is to get y. And already we've gotten this one. Since one is x, one is x. So what's one? 25. So if we do y plus 100 plus 25, we must get 180. So y plus 100 plus 25, that's 125. We must get what? 180. I'm in a triangle. So therefore from here, y equals to 180 minus 125 will give us what? Find the ratio of the area of triangle PQR, the small triangle, to the area of the trapezium QRTST. First, suppose the area of this small triangle PQR is, let's call it A, and the area of this trapezium is what? Is B. What you have to know from what we've done previously, the area of the small triangle, which is A, over the area of the big triangle, which is everything here, that's A plus B, this time now, equals to, now we are told that QR over TS, QR over TS is what? 2:3. So the area of this small triangle over the area of this big triangle equals to square of QR to TS. So QR to TS is 2/3. Then we square it. So our aim is to get the area of the small triangle, which is A, over the area of the triangle, which is B. So our aim is to get A over B. And how can we do that? We can continue from here. A over A plus B equals to 4/9. If we multiply from here, it means 9A equals to 4a plus 4b. Now a minus 4a, that is 5a. 5a equals to 4b. So we want to get a over b. So it can mean this b under it here, this 5 under 4. So it means a over b equals to 4 over 5. As simple as that. The next question, find STV. Silver bell television. STV. This is what we are told to look for. Let's call it X. Let's call that one X. UV and RS, they are alternate. Sorry, they are parallel. UV, RS are parallel. Definitely, if this angle here is X, then it means this angle too is X. They are alternate. That's the first thing. So they are both XX. Then this 35 rests on this parallel line, this X rests on parallel line, but this 65 rests on no parallel line. So what are you meant to do? Come here and extrapolate. Cut into 2. If this angle here is X, this one here, this tiny one must be X. If this angle is 35, this one too must be 35. So on this dotted line, we have this and this. If this angle is 35, this angle is 35. If this angle is X, this angle is also X because they are parallel to each other. So 35, 35, X, X. So it means if we add 35 and X together, we get the whole of this, and we are given as 65 in the question. So it means X plus 35 will give 65. From there, 65 minus 35 will give us 30. And that's it. I would advise you, before I start using the black marker, draw the diagram by yourself and do it before you check the solution, so that it will not, you'll not be confused. For the next one, similar to what we did here, this 100 and 120, they rest on a parallel line, except for this X. Do the same thing here. Now look at this. If this is 110, this is also 110 because they are what? Alternate. If this is 120, this is also 120 because they are what? Alternate. Remember, maybe I think the fourth question we solved, we proved they put A here, B here, and C here. And we actually showed that A plus B plus C, these three is also what? 360 degree. So meaning if you see that question in JAM, you might not need to what? Do any construction. Just note if you add this, this and this, you must get 360. So but it's now obvious here. Angle at a point. X plus 110 plus 120 equals 360. So X plus 230 equals 360. Then X equals to 360 minus 230. Here S equals to 130. Alright, now for this question we have to get the value of y. So y resting on this parallel line, same goes for this one too. But this 30 has no connection. So what can we do? There are many things we can do here. First, we can extrapolate this point, or we can extrapolate this line. Anyhow. But let's try to do this one. Let's extrapolate this one. By doing this, something is obvious. Look at this. If this angle here is y, this angle too is y because they are what? Alternate. Or without even doing that, directly, if this angle is y, this angle is also y because they are what? Corresponding. So y. Then this one too is exterior angle. So exterior angle of a triangle equals sum of the opposite interior. So from here y becomes what? 1 to 2 minus 30. So what is y? As simple as that. Next, find QPS. QPS, not POS. QPS. You want to get the whole of this angle. Now look at this. These two double stripes indicate that this triangle is isosceles. So this angle here equals this angle. So if this angle is A, this is also A. Same thing goes here. This and this are also equal. So if this angle here is A, this is also A. From here, we now have a straight line. I'm going to straight line. So A plus 68 must give us what? 180. 2A equals to 180 minus 68. What is 180 minus 68? Then A equals to, but our aim is to get the whole of this. Now this triangle, they are identical. So it means if this side is B, definitely this side is also B. Then look at this. We are looking for 2B, so let's just get the value of B. So applying some angle in a triangle. So it means A plus B, that is 2A plus B must give 180. And what is A? What is 2A straight? 2A is 112. 112 plus B equals to 180. B equals to 180 minus 112 should give us what? 68. But we are looking for 2B. So 2B equals to 68 times 2. And the answer is what? 136. For the next question, this line and this line are parallel. We want to get the value of x. But x has a connection between these parallel lines. So what are you going to do? At this point, you what? You extrapolate. You can do the same thing here. Extrapolate these two. So it means this line, and this, they are all parallel. So first, if this angle is 20, this angle too is 20. Because they are alternate. Now, this is a straight line. If this angle is 105, the remaining angle have to be what? 75. Because angle in a straight line must be 180. Then, if this angle is 75, this angle too is 75 because they are what? Alternate. So from there, it means x equals to 20 plus 75. So x equals to 95. This one is the easiest to me because already these lines are parallel, this is a transversal. So if this angle is x, this angle is also x because they are corresponding. This is a straight line. If this angle is 100, this inner must be 80 because total angle in a triangle must be 180. So this is 80, this is 40, and this is x. Exterior angle equals to sum of opposite interior. So x equals to 80 plus 40. So x equals to 120. For this, we are looking for SUT. X. So what can we do here? 80. This line and this line, they are parallel to each other. But there is no a direct line joining them together. There is no transversal cutting them. When you have two parallel lines, like this one, there must be a line that cuts them. So these two, there is no a straight line that cuts them together. So what can we do? It's either we extrapolate this one backward and this one to meet, or we can what? Join this one. And if you join this one, something becomes obvious. We have this line, this cutting them. Top right, top right. This angle is also 80. Why? Because they correspond angle. Then what next? Exterior angle equals the sum of opposite. These equations, they are too simple. But you won't know until you start solving. From here, x equals to 95 minus 80. x equals to 15. What you just have to know, whenever you have parallel lines, a line must cut them. If not, you have to draw something. You know, initially I was saying we can extrapolate this one upward and this one this way. If you do it, you still get the same answer. The aim is there must be a line that will cut the parallel line. And if you have a particular angle that is not attached to any parallel line, you what? You extrapolate, you cut that angle. What we did here. Same thing we did here. The last question we're solving, 2019 number 6. Find m and n. This looks familiar. We explained, I gave this particular diagram during my explanation. So we're looking for m and n. Don't worry yourself, just follow the pattern. 8 over n, AB over CD, 8 over n equals to, we can do 6 over 8. But I would not like to use that, I would like to use 4 over n. Anyhow, it works. So you have 6 over 8, and we have 8 over n, then 6 over 6 plus a. Thanks. The whole of this 6 plus a. Then last one, 4 over 4 plus n. So we are to look for m and n. So we have 3 equations here and we have 3 unknown. So what you're going to do, you solve simultaneously. So if you create these two together, you get an equation. If you create this and this together, you also get another equation. This one will be between a and n. You get an equation involving a and n. For this, you get an equation involving what? A and m. Then from these two equations, you have to what? Eliminate a out. If you eliminate a, you have an equation that has only m and n. Then after that, if you now compare this with this, you have 8 over n equals to 4 over 4 plus n. So if you try to simplify this one, you get an equation involving m and n. So this one will be equation 1, equation 2. You solve simultaneously and you get the value of what? M and n. Again, if you equate this, you will get an equation involving a and m. You can make a the subject in terms of n. Then if you equate this one, you get equation involving a and m. Make a the subject in terms of m. Then equate the two equations, a disappears. You now have an equation that has what? M and n, equation 1. Then if you equate this and this, you get another equation in terms of m and n, equation 2. Solve simultaneously, then you get the value of m and n. Thank you very much.